Hello, and welcome back to Book Readings with King Coyotes. And for those of you new, thank you for joining. And we continue on. It was sitting on the toilet tank. It was bluer in color than the dragon downstairs, to tone with the bathroom, he thought. It had smaller wings, a longer snout, and a rather peculiar, alert expression. It wasn't warm like the other, but it did have a faintly rosy smell, as if its glaze had been specially painted to carry some sort of freshening scent. David turned it to face the wall. No way was he going to unzip himself, not with that thing watching. By dinner time, Liz and Lucy had forgotten their tiff, and David was made to feel fully at home. He had 2 large helpings of shepherd's pie, a slice of cheesecake, and a glass of ginger beer. The peas, he declared, were the best he'd ever tasted. Afterward, everyone moved into the living room. Bonington, his best seat taken by the tenant, even curled up in David's lap. Lucy Pennycettle talked non-stop. She wanted to know everything about the tenant. More importantly, she wanted the tenant to know everything about her. David listened patiently. He learned all about Lucy's progress at school, what her friends were going to think of her mom having a tenant, and what Lucy was going to be when she grew up. Less of a chatterbox than you are now, I hope, her mother put in. I'm going to be an acrobat, Lucy announced. I'm going to wear a leotard and swing on a trapeze. Do you want to see my handstand? Of course he doesn't, said her mom. Lucy shrugged, undeterred, and said to David, I'm going to save animals as well. Do you like animals? I like cats, he replied, even though Bonington was giving him a cramp. A sparkle entered Lucy's eye. Do you like squirrels? Lucy, it's past your bedtime, said her mom. Lucy frowned and glanced at the clock. Do you? She pressed, nudging David's toe. Lucy, said her mom, you've talked him half to sleep as it is. He doesn't want to be pestered about squirrels. Lucy said hotly, I was only asking if he liked them, Mom. The red ones are pretty, David put in, trying to diffuse the argument a little. By now he'd figured out that squirrels were the other thing Lucy had been wanting to ask about earlier. Surprisingly, Lucy looked at him in shock. Don't you like the gray ones? Lucy, if you want a story tonight, you'd better get up those stairs right now. Please say you like the gray ones, Lucy whispered. Her bright green eyes were wide and pleading. I like the gray ones, David obliged her. Then, lowering his voice a little, he asked, Is Conker a squirrel? Yes! Bed, now! Liz dropped her magazine and pushed up her sleeves. Lucy seemed to take this as a final warning. She grabbed her sweater off the couch and hurried to the door. Night, night, she chirped and pounded up the stairs. As her footsteps faded into the distance, David glanced sheepishly at Liz and said, Sorry, was I not supposed to mention, you know? Liz smiled and shook her head partly with amusement, part exasperation. Lucy loves wildlife, particularly squirrels. This morning we agreed that if you took the room, she wouldn't pester you about them for at least a day. Her timing was a little off, as usual. I was trying to spare you, as it's your first night. I don't mind, said David. She's quite funny, really. You say that now, said Liz. I guarantee by the end of the week you'll be wishing that Noah had never let them on the ark. She stood up and tugged the curtain shut, taking care not to topple a gruff-looking dragon that was standing on top of a small speaker. We shall leave off here. Thank you for joining me for another book reading with King Coyotes. I'll see you guys next time in the next videos, which may be tomorrow, may not be tomorrow. It all depends. But thank you thus far for joining me. I'm really enjoying reading this along with you guys and doing these recordings. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Peace and love. And as always, read on.